So I had been in talks with Remax, so I called Josh. Is he here? There he is, my buddy. I said, send me the franchise agreement. And from there, in 6 weeks, which is unheard of, I had the office stamped by the state, and I was able to open on January 2nd. But what had happened is, it wasn't just that. See, what somebody decided to do in the market was to try to ruin my reputation. And there was a rumor going around that I was escorted out of Coldwell Banker, and that, by the police, by the way. Meanwhile, just the 3 people that, I guess, fired me were hugging me goodbye, and tears were streaming down their face. So they said that I had stolen money from the company. That's what the rumor on the street was. So for the next 2 years, while I'm trying to build a company, I lost the belief in myself. So I was selling still, tons of stuff, but I was losing money because, I don't know if I was losing money. I definitely wasn't making money, but I was spending in all the expenses to run it, a brokerage. And I was not recruiting, failing at that. I had no idea. And I couldn't decide what I wanted or what I wanted to do. So fast forward, it's now 2 years in. In 2016, I recruited 12 agents. That was pretty good for me not knowing nothing. But here's what happened. In my mind, in my ego, I thought if they worked under me, under my tutelage, that they would be successful. And I was always wanting to save and help people. It's one of the best things about me and one of the worst things, because I always look for and see the best, even when shouldn't. So by the end of that year, every single one of them, they were all brand new, by the way, every single one of them had quit the industry except for one, and he went somewhere else, another company. So now here I am at the end of 2016, November, it's right before Thanksgiving. Again, defeated, upset. What the fuck? So I looked at myself and I said, why? And I will tell you, I was walking on eggshells around these people in my own office, not holding them accountable, not following through, not being true to me. So I went home that weekend and I thought long and hard. I was either quitting and getting out this business, or I was gonna do something else. And so what I came up with was building my marketing machine. And I said, I'm gonna get back into sales 150%. And I described my machine like this. So imagine a steel wheel that's 20 feet high, 10 feet in diameter. That's what I wanted to build. And so how I built a multi-million brand without buying leads, there was nobody to buy leads for. I'm not doing that. So I didn't have a buyer agent team. I didn't have time to get a buyer agent team together. So I said, okay, what do I have? I have investors and developers I've already been working with. I have past clients, and I know how to market. So I was a member of the BIA, which I told you. Now I've been a member for 10 years, at least. I'm a member of the Union League of Philadelphia, which is a private city club, which I've been a member for 12 years. So I started to go back into grassroots, meeting people one-on-one. We work as a private banking model. So we're not a transactional, we do transactions, but we're not a transactional company. And so I'd meet with people one-on-one, find out what the investor is looking for. We work with family offices, commercial real estate, industrial, new construction, development, obviously the regular residential buy-sell. So while I was building this, I said, okay, I have already a lot of people in my database. I'm going to find opportunities. So I would go in the appointment and I would say, what are you looking for? What can I find for you? Well, we want 10 lots, or we want, a building that a warehouse that we can convert into condos. So I started to write letters to, direct mail letters, not postcards, a letter. And I would send them to absentee owners, vacant land, commercial real estate, whatever that client specifically wanted. And so now what was happening is my wheel was starting to get a little bit of momentum. I was pushing it. Just a little bit of momentum. So I got some more listings. They would buy it. They would renovate it. We would sell it. They would buy it. We'd build 10, 15, 20 houses. I would sell them, and I'd find more, and I'd find them more. And so I could pick up the phone and call any of these people in Philadelphia and have an appointment in 5 minutes, because I built my reputation on consulting clients. I consult them on what to build, what's the market missing. We were the first people to build stacked condo units in Philly. I represented a developer. We sold over 25 buildings for him, probably 100 and some sales in a couple years, because we figured out with this zoning, we could do 4 units, not 1. So now it's like, oh great, so that's $1.2 million. And I know the numbers, so I do napkin math. If the deal works on the napkin, we buy the deal. So one of the challenges though that I had, and in building my team, so I hired my first unicorn came in March of 2017. So I started to build the wheel in January, and that's Dara Ellis. She's my now broker record, my colleague, my friend. She came out of being a developer for 20 years. She's right now at an appointment where we met with a developer on Tuesday. While we were there, we went there to meet with him about buying industrial properties, pretty big shop in Philly, and he mentioned about this one development that they're doing out in the suburbs. And I said, Dara, what about Golfview Estates? We have an off-market opportunity we're selling it for $1.2 million. It's 22 lots. I can build 22 twin townhomes. And that came from David, the client, came from the BIA. And the other deal came from a letter. And so all I do, and what I do and have done, is matching people. I met with a guy from my club, the Union League. He called me and said, I have a 1031 exchange. I said, okay. He's like, how much do you have? He says, $675. So I started to tell him about this duplex and this and that. And I said, do you have anything you're looking to sell? He said, as a matter of fact, now his wife, by the way, is a real estate agent. I'm going to say that. By a matter of fact, I have this warehouse that I was thinking about selling. I said, really, where? 52nd Street. I said, okay. I said, I think I have somebody. I said, can you meet me there tomorrow? I go, I look at the property. I do the evaluation for him. By Monday, I give him the number, $1,150,000. And I said, I'm bringing a buyer. Brought the buyer. He's actually a friend of my husband's. He's in the food business in Philadelphia, business owner. And so we're closing on that on next Friday. But another off-market opportunity. You'll say, how do you get these? Because I know what people want. I know the math of it. I know how to work the numbers. So the business feeds the business. Right now, we have listings that will come because of all of the other listings that we sold to the people. So one of my biggest challenges, though, so I get Dara, March 17. We have like a shit show of assistants. It's kind of a mess at this time. I would get files. I said, where's the information? Here. Well, I didn't get it all. He wanted to get off the phone. I said, oh my God. this is going on for a year, and Lisa, my sister, was running her own book of business. So I said, Lisa, can we meet? We have a talk. I see her on the phone and people are hanging up on her. Like, she's calling expires, they're hanging up. I'm like, oh my God. My phone is in my office is blowing up. So I asked her, can you come in and be the inside sales? You could be the first person, the nurse. I'm the doctor, she's the nurse. And she agreed to do it. So this is February 18. So February 18, my husband also joined the company. We were married in December of 17. This is kind of how I do things. We're together 11 years now. We're engaged for 4. And in October, end of October, after being engaged for 4 years, I saw an ad and I said, what is this place? I said, oh my God, the Masonic Temple is now holding weddings. That's amazing. I said, I want to see that place. So I stalked the lady. The next day we go. November 5th, actually the day we were engaged, we booked it. We were married December 22nd of the same year. So in 7 weeks we're married, black tie wedding, full tons of our friends and family, and I planned the whole thing in 4 weeks. So when I set my mind to whatever it is, I said, it gets done. So I was so focused on making this marketing machine work. So that's February, March of that year. So now we're getting more momentum because now we're not losing opportunities because Lisa knows how to convert. So towards the end of the year, I see Veronica posting about this guy. I'm like, who the fuck is that guy that you just posted, that John guy? I'm reading his stuff. I'm like, he's no joke. I said, Veronica, can you introduce me to him? She's like, absolutely. She's like, he's amazing. So Veronica introduces me to John, and I start to coach with John in November of 2018. And at this point, I'd hired, now Lisa was my second unicorn. My husband's not going to be a unicorn. He counts. He's amazing. Number 3rd in the company. 4th would be Joni, who we hired as an amazing 17-year veteran of a very high-producing team in the city. She came into our company in May of that year, and I brought John in. And so things had started to change. And one of the main reasons why things have started to change is because I was changing. And I was stepping out of my own way. And I was realizing that everything that happened or didn't happen was because of me. All the good and all the bad. Look, at the time when I was canned from Colwell, I had no idea that the woman that worked with me told them. You know, I didn't figure it out for like a month. I couldn't understand why I lost $250,000, 38 pending, 50 listings. It was a nightmare. Plus the 2 years of my life that I walked around like, literally like this. So I hire John in, and I'm like, I got some shit to figure out. And so for the last year, I have figured out a lot, not everything, but a lot. And one of the main things was taking responsibility for all the good and all the bad, and working with the people, and literally what he says, tiny hinges swing big doors. I didn't make a lot of changes, but some subtle changes that are making and turning into massive results. You know, with the team that we have, and then the last person to come was Kim, who started in July of last year as operations. So I didn't, at the time, want to have a team outside of support. Everybody that is support is licensed, but they don't sell. And what I wanted to do was to build this machine so that I can then, I thought, well, if I build it, they will come. And so we had a very successful 19, and at the end, while I was working with John, we started talking about, okay, great, now replacing myself, layering in, the next people. And at the end of the year in December, we did bring on a listing partner, business partner, and also a buyer's agent. She will focus more on buyers for this year. Both business people, both ran their own businesses at some point in their lives, and we focus on helping the developers and investors. And now what we decided to do, and I talked with John about this, was expanding into advertising on radio and TV, because everything that I did was through me and building my brand in Philadelphia. Charity events, probably go to about 12 a year, and also not just the events themselves, but I sit on a board for a nonprofit called Year Up, which is all about the opportunity divide. So giving back is really important. We partner with Manna Pies, or Manna, who do a program called Pie in the Sky for Thanksgiving, where we reached out to our clients and wanted to give them a gratitude pie. So we bought 208 pies from Manna at $30 each, and we had 170 people in 2 days come to our office. But these people are people that we've done a lot of transactions with, and that we've helped them and their families make a lot of money. I've helped investors make millions and millions and millions of dollars. And so when you do that, people, tend to refer you other people, and they come back. And we have clients that we've been working with for over, I would say, way over a decade, 13 years. There's never a time where I tell somebody a price that we don't get. In fact, we always usually list it higher because I'm very conservative in my numbers. But that's why we don't buy leads, and we're building a brand. And I'm going to continue on that path, because my whole philosophy was, why buy a buyer lead when you could focus on sellers? And the sellers give us buyers just from having the listing. So everything that we do is focused around finding the opportunities, whether it's for an investor or developer, or if it's for a homeowner in this case. And I think one of the other things that I had to realize was that our business was more like of driving a Ferrari than a Honda as just a regular residential buy-sell, because we had all these different business lines. And so what we ended up doing was, at the end of last year, we incorporated Follow Up Boss into our program, rewrote all of the processes, all the systems, brought on an EVA, so that they can handle some of our things that, marketing things that don't need to be done in the office. One of the things that we do in our company every day is we have 11:30 a.m. meeting, which is a stand-up meeting. Either you can call in, or it's right there, in the office, or you can call in. And that's for about 15 minutes. We just go over our deal flow. What appointments we had yesterday, what was the outcome, what appointments we have today, what was the outcome, and what offers we have that went out and what offers came in. So that's the daily thing. We use Slack for communication. It's been very helpful. We put everything in there. We have different channels. Deal of the day. So deal of the day is an investment property that we send out. I do videos now on everything that goes out via email. We use MailChimp, and through Follow Up Boss, thanks to John letting me know about that. And it's really starting to have a major impact on the business. I was shocked, actually, by it, and about how many people. We only started doing it maybe a month ago, but the clients are responding. They're like, we love the videos. This is so amazing. We're getting more response from that, just marketing to those people, than we ever had in the last however many years I've been sending them stuff, just regular email without the video. So that's been super successful as well. I wrote notes, so let me just make sure I told you everything, because I forgot something. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions, you guys? Questions? Yes, over here. Let it fly.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. I wanted just to ask specifically, it sounds like a lot of your business does come from the referral relationships, your sphere. Have you incorporated like a gift giving program as well? Because I do that. But I would like to, do you actually have a follow-up system on that as well?
We don't give gifts.
No gifts?
No. Does your doctor give you one? Mine doesn't.
Yeah.
We don't give gifts. We have parties and things like that. We did the gratitude pie, which is partnered with a charity, but we're not buying gifts, no.
Do like client appreciation events or?
Yeah,
team
we've had client parties. I mean, this year we didn't have a client party. We did the manna pie instead for Thanksgiving, but we've had client holiday parties and things like that over the years. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I take people to dinner. I take people to dinner. I go to lunch. I have people for drinks. We support our clients' charities, so I'd rather give money than than buying them like a gift. I mean, a lot of these people, I work with people that make a lot of money, and so what's valuable to them is, do I have the information right? Is the price I'm telling them right? Is the finish selection that I've said to them, is this the right finish selection for the product? Things like that. It's more consulting. Should we build $1 million house, or should we build 3 condos for $350,000 each? Which is the better use of the property? That's what I get paid for. I don't get paid for the transaction. So we treat the business like a business. It runs more like kind of like a doctor's office or a big medical practice. I don't talk to anybody until that appointment is confirmed. And I'm not involved in the transaction at all. I mean, I talk to my clients because I have long relationships, but I don't negotiate the offer. Lisa does that, Dara does that. One on the commercial, one on the residential. So once I bring the business in, the office handles every single thing. I went on vacation for 6 weeks last year. I went to see my great uncle in Milan, who lives, he's 101 yesterday, twice in the last 7 months. So it's important that I give back. It's important, I speak a lot of places for young people. I'm in Philadelphia. The opportunity divide there is huge. We're a really poor city. I happen to work in the center of the city and in areas that were gentrified, but we're changing neighborhoods, the clients I work with. We're building areas that have been terrible. Now one of the areas we built in, houses there you can't even buy anything with a garage for under $1 million. But it wasn't like that 15 years ago. And I helped those clients that bought those properties. They're sitting on a ton of equity. They believed in what I believed in. So we were able to segue that into a lot of income for the people we work with. So.
Denise.
Thank you. You do a lot of direct mail, and you've really mastered that. So would you share with the group, like, the companies that you use, because they handle a lot of that outbound stuff for you, don't they? You write the letter and they handle like the rest, so you're not having to hire another person to do it.
So when we write the letters, I put the letter, I actually physically write them. I'm in charge of all of the overarching marketing for my company, and I actually write the letters myself. I put them through Flesher Kincaid system, where it'll rate the ratio of you talking versus them, you talking about you versus you talking about them. So you want to have a 1 time to you to 1.8 ratio to them. We also use a company called DMS. They're out of Orlando. They do all the mailings for us. And we focus on, like, I run different zip codes. I look for areas where our clients want to buy in. So we'll target absentee owners, industrial properties. We have a lot of family businesses that have very large parcels that are exiting their family business now. A lot of my clients are older. They own massive amounts of real estate. I have clients that have thousands of properties. And so they do open the mail. It's not a dying thing. I would not have been able to do this. I mean, I closed, just with myself and my little group I told you about, we closed 238 units last year with no people. So a lot of that is from the cycling of the business and keeping it more from a model that's one that is not transactional. And the way that, and that's how I tell everybody, look, it's employees first. It's my people first. 10 years ago, that never would have come out of my mouth. I would say, take care of the client. No, you take care of your people, they'll take care of your people. So is that what you wanted to know? And guess what? I sometimes get too busy doing whatever I'm doing, and then I don't send out the mailer. Then the staff's like, where's the mailer? I'm like, oh. So I just did one while we were, yesterday. I had not yesterday, Wednesday. I was on the way here, and I'm trying to get this mailer out the door. Because we know that we're going to we convert from them. Listen, when that call comes in, every appointment gets set, unless the person tells us to go after ourselves, because sometimes we get that too. But every other appointment is set. They don't all list right now, but we have people from 2 years ago that are listing now. Oh, we have a tenant, the tenant's not leaving for 2 years. And I said, well, it'd be best in this case because it's really what you want for it is a retail price, it's not for an investor. So then that becomes a retail, meaning a homeowner's buying it, a retail play. And then we get the buyer on that. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you for listening to my story.